Yes, the example you showed for MySQL replication didn't have every database master serving, master slave,
no,
which every other one.
no.
Is it not doing that yet?
Hang on, which one are you talking about?
Replication.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, sorry, I forgot to do the diagram for that. I did write that down, but I didn't get to it. Where is it? It'd be faster if I did this. Yeah, 255 slides.
Oh no, only 8-bit then.
I thought that too. Okay, so this one here, you're talking about?
Yeah, any one of those, yeah.
Okay.
You only had one
so,
master.
okay, so at the moment, not this slide, but this configuration.
You had 3 masters and 1.
3 masters and 1, 3 servers and 1 client. Now, there's nothing stopping you from running the clients on the servers as well, pulling stuff from the client. So effectively, every database is a master. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, you can have that. That's no problem. So really, you're not. It's no longer master server. It's whatever configuration you want. So you can basically set up a mesh and just you can run MySQL on every machine on the internet and have them all replicating, but you probably wouldn't want to do that.
Where does the relay fit into this?
Okay, the relay fits into that, not in that diagram. Okay, I don't have any pictures for the relay, but think of it as...
Well, say if the top 3 were in one data center and the bottom one was in a different data center, the relay would be...
Yeah, it would be kind of like between that green arrow and the 3 databases, and picture the client as being the relay and those servers being the client pulling off the relay. So think of it as a tree. You can build trees, and also the thing is with these trees is because there's no, or because you can do ad hoc peer-to-peer. You can build a tree, and then you can build shortcuts, and you can build
directed graphs.
Yeah.
Directed graphs. Thank you.
They don't have to be acyclic. They are allowed to be cyclic. So it's just directed graphs.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, how does it work?
Okay. I didn't think anyone would ask me that.
I mean, at what level are you providing the replication? Are you doing that on the client side?
Okay. What actually happens is, so you've got the server and the client. So let's say, not talking relay, talking client and server. The server, which runs on the old master, just sits on a socket. I've written it in using net server fork. Listens on a socket, waits for a request, gets the request, looks at the bin log, looks at the positions of file position in the bin log, and starts parsing the bin log and starts streaming it to the client. So I've turned the bin log into text streams to the client.
Is there a module that passes that, or did you have to write that?
I'll write that. Yeah. So it's streaming to the client. The client sees these query texts with some metadata and goes, I'm just going to apply it to my bin log. To my database. But when it does that, it turns bin logging off. So there's no relogging of that. It's actually quite simple. And I don't know why MySQL doesn't do this.
Sounds a little bit similar to what Postgres does.
Okay,
only it's built into the database there.
Yeah.
No, it's nothing.
What was that?
One of the reasons MySQL don't do it that way is because you can't do synchronous replication.
Okay, yeah, synchronous replication is something that
or two-phase commits.
Yeah. That's something that we don't need. We're kind of, the reason why we've got this is we've got data centers across the globe. We want, the main databases around the globe to be fast for local clients.
It's what's called eventual consistency, which means that eventually the records will be the same on all the databases, but at any given instant, some of them might be behind.
Yep. And
which is good enough for a lot of things.
Yeah, we're pushing the problem up to the application layer by using brokers.
Yeah, so it's kind of a log shipping method for MySQL then, this replication?
Yeah. But the problem is why it only has one master is it's only got one bin log and one relay log.
Yeah.
So it can't actually know how to
put them together,
yeah, how to put them together. So okay, so that was a client. So okay, so did I explain the client server how that worked? Okay, so the relay. How I've done this is instead of having a bin log and a relay log, I'm using the database itself to be the relay, right? So I'm putting the database in the database. You're a dog. So, because I can do that, now when a client comes along, so a client comes along to the relay and says, here's a request. The relay says, have I got this? If I've got this locally, yeah, start streaming it out. But at the same time, it's going to eventually need new data, so it sends a request off to the server to start pulling. All right, so we've got this continuous stream going from the server to the relay log to the client. Other clients come along, checks the relay. If it's in there, cool, it just starts streaming. If not, you know, it will, depending on how the requests are, it will wait until the current backfilling of the log is done, and then it'll start filling backwards if it doesn't have it, or otherwise it'll just continue on with the streaming. And it uses any event.
Cool.
Any event, when I first started building this, I looked at any event and I thought, well, I'm used to event stuff, but any event didn't look like what I wanted, but after a while it's damn nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of tempted to get a talk done on that at some stage, or that or Coro.
Well, the thing is,
curious.
we talked about Coro, but that looked too scary for what I wanted. The thing is with Coro is, okay, Coro is coroutines. So you magically write your code and there's no events, well, there's no waiting on a conditional variable. You just go to sleep. Kind of like Java threads, or kind of like threading. You just automatically go to sleep, and once you're ready, your thread wakes up and it just does what it wants. And debugging that, no idea. So I've never done threading before, or I don't mean to do threading in Java. So
it doesn't sound like you really need threading there, more just non-blocking.
Well, yeah. Any event's non-blocking, so I'm using that. But Coro is written by the same guy, Mark. What's his last name? Lehman. I think it is. Yeah. Yeah. He wrote any event and he wrote Coro. Coro uses any event underneath, I think, and it does all magic. If coroutines is what you want, you probably want to be using Coro, and it looks magical, but
Does some serious
yeah.
magic as well, though.
And he's good, so he's yeah. He even wrote EV. I think he's the guy. Yeah, he wrote EV, and yeah, so he's written EV, any event, and Coro, so he knows what he's talking about. Yeah. Yep.
Are you using this in a production environment at the moment? Is it?
The relay is not in production, but the client server, yeah, that's definitely in production.
Okay. So in real practice, how far behind can any of your databases be time-wise, and does that matter?
Time-wise, it's negligible because it's compared. You base it on the type of queries that you're running. If you run a delete that's instant, the replication will be instant. If you're running a delete that takes 1 minute, replication doesn't matter because you're waiting for the queries to actually wait. So, yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Question?
Did you explain what a global broker is?
Yeah. Okay, again? Okay, so, yeah, you've got the web servers that all want to create the username Hamish, right? Now, without using a broker, every single web server says, at the same time, create Hamish, goes to the database, all good, replication, no, fail. Using a broker, they all talk to JSON or whatever, talk to a single broker, and the broker says, what username do you want to create? And then the first one says, I want Hamish. Yep, here, you've got the token to Hamish, that's fine. Everyone else says, I want Hamish. No, you can't have Hamish.
What about if we want to replicate the broker?
Out of scope.
Yep.
How do you handle sequence IDs on multiple targets, multiple hosts?
Like auto increment IDs? Or?
Yes.
Okay. Don't use auto increment IDs. Again, it's conflicting data. MySQL does this thing where you can say each machine can use
Alternate.
Certain range.
alternate, yeah, but the problem with that is if you've got lots of databases and, you know, like okay, what happens is you got one MySQL instance and it inserts 1. And then it'll skip the next 9 and insert 10 and then 20 or whatever. And then you got the second database and inserts 2, 11, you know, so you're spreading it. The problem is with that is
You have to know how many machines you want on front.
Well, not just that. If you've got machines that aren't actually writing, but you've got one machine that's heavily writing, you're wasting space. You're essentially, you know, yeah, you're chopping up your ID space. Yeah, again, if you can't solve it in the application layer or whatever, use UUIDs. I know it's, yeah. Okay, a lot of people...
That's the answer I give as well.
Yeah, okay.
There are ways to make good, unique UUIDs.
And also, there's not a single answer. It all depends on your application too, how much you can get away with. When you're writing an application, there's, you know, pick up a database book and it'll tell you things to do and not to do. But you know what, if you know your data and you know your application, you know what you can get away with and you know what, yeah. You don't even, sometimes you don't even need IDs, you can just, you know, yeah, whatever, yeah. Yeah, cool?
Yep.
Anyone else? Huh?
Would it be possible to apply that same model to a different database like Postgres?
Okay, I know nothing about Postgres, but if it does do some sort of bin logging, which you're saying it does, yeah, all that needs to be written is a parser for the bin log, and because I've only written this as a MySQL specific things, once all the headers, or once all the metadata's, you know, working and all the, yeah, I think it'd take a bit of work, but yeah.
I mean, could you even write like a generalized class?
Yeah.
Well, passing format.
Yeah. I guess it could be, yeah.
So replicate MySQL to Postgres.
It sounds ridiculous, but yeah, probably given enough time, yeah, you could probably do that, and then back to Oracle, and then back to MySQL.
The trick with that is
throws
you're
the server
using
off.
the database itself to insert the records, so that would work.
Yeah.
So you're taking the bin log out and you're putting them into the database, so it doesn't
And
database.
if you're using
supports the format of SQL
Yeah.
that's going on.
Yeah, exactly. And you're using, I'm currently using standard SQL. There's no MySQL specific stuff too. So yeah, it's all standard database stuff.
It's not to say your users would do the same though.
Yeah, once the application uses something.
Well, the thing is, the queries that I'm replicating are just, well, the stuff that I'm putting into the database is just text. So it doesn't matter what's going into the database. So it doesn't really matter what the users are doing, like client side, if you're talking about that.
Are you shipping branch the database?
So are you shipping SQL as text, or are you
Yeah.
right?
Well, I'm as no. If the query's got binary data in it, it'll just be binary data. So I'm shipping it as a blob in string.
Okay, I guess I should phrase it differently though, because I'm not as familiar with MySQL, I guess.
Okay.
So to pick an example which will illustrate which way it is, say you had a SQL that said insert rand to insert a random number.
Yeah.
Now, will you be shipping insert rand, or will you be shipping something that's actually
MySQL,
a binary result of that?
Okay, if you do insert range in MySQL, that actually, you don't get the, okay, you do get the query text as insert rand, but it also sets up two seeds, which is MySQL specific, and it sets two random seeds, and then that gets passed on to the client, and it executes the three, so it's three statements. It sets seed 1, seed 2, then it inserts the seed, and it uses the seed numbers to, so it's all,
okay.
So yeah, when you replicate that, it'll all be the same everywhere. Yeah.
It's the same mechanism that MySQL uses anyway, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm doing
It's its own bin log.
Yeah. I don't actually know how MySQL does it. I've looked at the parser, but I don't know how it's applying it. But I'm guessing it's the same, unless they're shortcutting it straight to, you know.
The shortcut is straight use the other bin log.
I'll do that. Okay.
What if it's sort of similar, like default of the current time?
Oh, the time again is magical. Time when you do.
So the bin log says what the time should have been.
It sets a timestamp on the query, and then it says, you know, insert like now, and then when it gets replicated, it says insert now, but before that it sets
what now
the timestamp. Yeah, it sets, yeah,
Right.
yeah, fun and games.
Now is this?
Yeah.